Hi, my name is Grayson and welcome to my first Booktube video. This is probably going to be a disaster, but I'm going to give it my best shot. So like literally everyone, for my first video in here, I'm going to do the Booktube Newbie Tag. So why did you start this channel? There was a pandemic going on. And due to the pandemic, my college career has been put on hold, which basically means I'm living with my parents again after 2 years of living alone, and I have nothing to do all day, every day. So I decided, you know what, I've been wanting to make a YouTube for years. I have the time now. Let's just do it. Like, there's really nothing stopping me right now. What can you bring to YouTube? Well, I feel like in a lot of ways, I'm kind of unlike a lot of the really popular booktubers out there. For one thing, I am trans, and I only know of like 3 other trans booktubers or bookstagrammers. So in that way, I feel like I have a unique perspective, and I really love Own Voices books, and I really love LGBT fiction. So I feel like that is something we need more of in the review and book community. Also, pretty much every reviewer I know of wants to work in publishing as either a writer or an editor, so they always come into books with that standpoint. For me, I want to work in publishing, but I want to go work in publishing from an art and design perspective. I'm usually in college for art and design when it's not a pandemic, and my dream is after graduation to hopefully work in a publishing house as an artist and designer. So I feel like in that way I have a unique perspective on the publishing and book world, because there just really isn't any other art and designers in the book community. Like, I'm seriously the only one I know. If there's any other book reviewers who are artists and designers, please hit me up. I would love to meet some book art friends. So what are you most excited for about this channel? I love books, obviously. Like, it's pretty much my biggest hobby, my biggest obsession, and I would really love to get to meet even more bookish friends, especially book friends who are queer or artists, and I really want to be even more involved in the book community, because right now I've been running my Bookstagram for a little over a year now. I started June 2019, and I absolutely love the Bookstagram community, so I'd love to even expand more and get into the Booktube community as well, and meet new friends and interact with y'all. Why do you love reading? For me, reading is an escape. Just a way to get out of the stresses of your world. I feel like that's such a typical answer, but isn't that why anyone likes reading? You just want to get out of this shitty real world. Like, it kind of sucks, especially now. And reading is just a way how I can get out of that. Just be somewhere else. Be involved in someone else's life. Like, I don't have to be stressed in my own life when the main character is about to die. What do you think about starting a booktube will be the hardest to overcome? Very much my insecurities. I've been wanting to start a booktube for quite a while now, and every single time I started to try to do it, it was like, oh, I'm still in high school, and the few people I know in my school who have YouTubes get bullied so badly, so I'm gonna wait till after I'm out of high school. Then it was, oh, I'm in college, I don't have time. It was, oh, I don't have a good camera. Oh, I don't know how to edit. Oh, I don't pass yet. Oh, all this and this and this. And I still definitely have those insecurities, especially like putting my face and my voice on the internet, especially with my dysphoria. So this is gonna be a time. I'm kind of terrified to edit this video, kind of terrified having to look at my face and hear my voice for a while, kind of terrified to put it out into the world for everyone else's judgments. So that's definitely going to be hard for me. We'll have to see if I actually get the nerve to post this. What book got you into reading? I've always been a huge reader, which always kind of confused my family. Like, my parents have probably read 5 books each in the past decade. Honestly, that might be an exaggeration. Yet, pretty much, as soon as I was able to read, I was just devouring books. And when I was younger, it was the obvious ones: Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, John Green, Percy Jackson. But what really kind of got me from the area of, I love books, reading is a fun hobby, this is enjoyable too, books are my everything, I want to have a career in books, this is everything I care about, was Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets to the universe. I grew up, and where I'm living now again, in the Bible Belt, and went to a private Catholic high school. And due to that environment and being queer, I had a lot of issues, internalized homophobia, self-hating, just a lot of issues. And God bless my high school librarian, Michelle, shout out to you. She was the one who really showed me that it was okay to be myself and okay to exist as my truest self. And due to that, she exposed me to queer literature. And the very first queer book I ever read that had someone like me in it was Aristotle and Dante. And that book really showed me that like I could be myself and be loved and be accepted and just everything would be okay. Like I can exist and I can be gay and I can be queer and everything will still be fine. I'll live a amazing, fulfilling life that way. And that was really what kind of got me here to running a LGBT bookstagram, now starting an LGBT YouTube, wanting to actually work in publishing and add diversity to the book world. So that's really the book that started this all for me and made it really like into my full-on passion. Why do you love reading? Kind of going off my last point, especially in the past few years, where reading has become such an area for diversity. Because when it comes to like books and movies, if there's any LGBT characters, they're side characters, they're just kind of there for diversity points, they don't really mean anything, they're not really fulfilling characters. But books are really pushing those boundaries nowadays. Like, we have so many books coming out now that just have these amazing, badass, deep LGBT characters. And for me, that's something that's so important, because that's something I didn't see at all until I was 14 years old, thanks to Aristotle and Dante. And now I'm seeing more and more books come out, because when I first started reading pretty much exclusively queer fiction, it was next to nothing. And most of what was there wasn't own voices, which a lot of the books that I look back on now that I read back then are so problematic. But now there's all these amazing queer authors who are writing these amazing queer stories. And really, that's my only identity I can talk about. But there's also like these amazing Muslim and Jewish and people of color authors writing their own stories and making these incredible characters about their own identities that people who share those identities can finally read and finally see people and experiences like their own. And it's incredible. I love seeing where the publishing world is going. Now, there's still a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. But I'm so happy to see that in the publishing world, that's where we're really seeing that diversity and seeing those barriers get pushed and seeing these authors get the chances that they should have gotten years and years and years ago. And I absolutely love reading all these stories. I'm so happy that I can finally see more queer characters and finally starting to see trans characters in books. Like, thank you. It has been so long since it's been like a decent trans character in books, and now there's been like 5 amazing trans books published this last year. And finally, the last question: what kind of books do you read? Gay books. Gay books. When it comes to genre, I'm not really picky. Like, I usually end up reading contemporary, but that's because contemporary is usually where diversity kind of ends up going. But I love fantasy. Fantasy is incredible. I'll pretty much read anything. The only thing I won't read is sci-fi. So I hate sci-fi with a passion. Can't do it. I've tried very hard to love some sci-fi books. I just... Nah. But on that, pretty much any gay books usually ends up being contemporary and YA, because that's where gay books usually are, but I'm also trying to read more adult books recently. So that is all of my questions for that. I hope this wasn't a huge cringe fest. I hope this was a halfway decent video. I hope this is actually worth my time, and I hope I actually end up on Booktube and actually make more videos, and hope this doesn't turn into a fiery garbage pile of shit. Thank you for watching, and subscribe, like if you want. I would appreciate it. I'd appreciate if you stuck around. Appreciate it if you actually enjoy watching my content and not mean to me.